The Lady Rebels of Ole Miss are heading to Mizzou Arena to face the Missouri Lady Tigers. Now, this is going to be an interesting game. Kellie Harper knows how to get a team to the NCAAs, but I don't think she's going to be able to do it this year with Mizzou. I really don't. Um, they're currently 13-8. Mizzou is 16-4. Now, yes, Missouri did just lose a game. That was probably a little bit of a shock. Lost to unranked Georgia, but that just shows how good Georgia is. It was an 82-59 smackdown. Now, Kellie Harper has got Missouri going decently, but they're just not able to get there. They lost to Kansas, lost to Troy. When you lose to a team like Troy, that's the sad part. Lost to Illinois. Now, Illini, well, of course, has lost. They've only beaten Arkansas in the SEC. They've lost to Texas, Kentucky, Vandy, Alabama, and Florida, and they're not they're not looking like they're prepared for this season. Well, with in conference play, they've got good players. Grace Slaughter is doing a lot. She really is, but they're just not able to hang. And when they face Cody McMahon, Christine Iawala, they're going to have some difficulties. Now, Kellie Harper has been able to get to the Sweet 16 with both Missouri State and the Lady Vols. Her making it back to the Lady Vols, I had no problems with her being the Lady Vols head coach. She made it to the Sweet 16 3 times, got it to the second round her last season there. They had two 25-win seasons. She's a good coach. I really don't understand why they got rid of her. I really don't. I guess they were expecting her to be able to be Pathead Summit right away, and considering Pathead Summit is, who Kellie Harper really learned about coaching from as a player. I mean, she was a point guard with both the Lady Vols and with the Cleveland Rockers. I'm looking at what she's done, and it saddens me that, hey, she coached at NC State, had a 70-64 record there. Unfortunately, 17-17 her last season. Did great things at Missouri State. And Tennessee, she actually had a really good record, 108 wins, 52 losses. This is a tough season. Yolett McPhee-McCuin has done some really good things with Ole Miss and has slowly built them up to being a Sweet 16 contender. I'm looking at this Ole Miss team and going, holy cow. She did good things with the Jacksonville Dolphins as well. But what she's done with Ole Miss, she's made them into a contender. I could see her winning a conference championship. I could even see Kellie Harper winning a conference championship. That's why I wasn't happy that she got let go from Tennessee. But I'm looking at these two teams right now. Mizzou is struggling. Could just be that, Kellie Harper's got to get everything in place. And I really do think that's the case. She's got to get them in place. What she did at Missouri State, great things. What she did for the Western Carolina Catamounts was good things. And I love seeing these two coaches go up against each other. So let's get into this game. Ole Miss is visiting them, so we're going to cover this game by the numbers. Before we get into the crux of this video, hit like, hit subscribe if you like college sports, because I do college sports, primarily college football, college women's gymnastics. Do a little basketball and other sports on occasion, but that's what I do, college. Also, General Robert Neyland, former University of Tennessee head football coach for decades, had 7 maxims to win any game. but they can also help you if you apply them correctly to your life. The second one is play for and make the breaks. When one comes your way, score. That is a maxim that can be also applied to your life. Look for those breaks and take it. Cody McMahon for Ole Miss, since they're visiting, 18.7 points a game, 5.6 rebounds. She's leading in points, 5.6 rebounds, 2.6 assists, 1.3 steals, 0.5 blocks, 2.6 turnovers, which is way too high. They're averaging about 13.5 turnovers a game, 47.8 field goal percentage, 66.7 free throw percentage, 27.4 3-point percentage. Good underneath the arc, but not much else. Christine Uwala. Okay, I'm going to butcher this poor woman's name. I am sorry. She leads in rebounds. She's got 14.2 points a game, 8.4 rebounds, 1.3 assists. She's a forward, by the way, so of course she's getting rebounds. 1.1 steals, 0.6 blocks, 2 turnovers a game, 58.6 field goal percentage, which is really good, 68.4 free throw percentage, but you can't hit a three-pointer. Letitia Lattimore, who is leading in blocks, forward, 10.2 points a game, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 0.5 steals, 2.1 blocks, 2.1 turnovers, which 48.3% field goal range, 68.2 free throw range, 24% 3-point range. Let's just put it this way. I'm looking at these numbers, and they're at 27.1 beyond the arc, which is just kind of shaky. 44.4 field goal percentage, not bad. They're at least taking intelligent shots. They've got players that are doing it. 72.4% from the free throw line. That's a fundamental. Why aren't they working on that? Now, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4 players over 500 minutes of play so far this season. They've got they're not that balanced. They're playing their 5 best a little too much. They're not trusting their backups. Um well, I take that back. They got three forwards that are at 500 and something minutes, so they're bouncing around one of the forwards or two of the forwards, but they're not. They're balancing their centers, but they're not balancing anybody else's time on the court. That's going to wear them down. Now, Ole Miss is looking like they could make it into the NCAA tournament. I mean, yeah, they just lost, but they're 16-4. So all they need to do is really win like 4 more games. Power conference, they'll make it into the NCAA's. They're they've got 2 good forwards that are taking care of points. You would think that their guards would do a little bit better on that. They're not blocking worth a flip. They really need to get some defense going. Turnovers a little high. They ain't shooting beyond the 3-point line. You know, I'm sure that McPhee-McCuin is wanting this team to do a little bit better on the defense, but at least they're getting 9 steals a game. They're working as a team with their assist. Uh, Sarah Theanu. Okay, I am butchering names today. I'm sorry, ladies, but my redneck tongue don't do words past 1 syllable anymore. Um, is getting good on assists and steals. 2.7 assists, 1.8 steals, but they really need work. They did not get their team working good this year. But hey, like I said, they are going to the NCAA's. I just don't see them getting very far in it this year. Now, let's take a look at Mizzou. 74.9 points a game. Not bad until you look at they're allowing their opponents to score 72.1 points. Really no defense. 45% field goal range. Not bad. Rebounds are at 38. a game, a little low. 13.7 assists, not enough teamwork there. And 3.5 blocks, that's even worse than Ole Miss. And 6.6 steals. Grace Slaughter, the guard, leading in points, rebounds. So, what you would expect for a point guard. 19 points a game, 7.6 rebounds, 1.9 assists, zero point 0.6 steals, zero point 0.3 blocks, 2.5 turnovers a game, though. That needs to be watched a little bit. 47% field goal percentage, free throw percentage is 78.9, and 40.4 3-point percentage. I'm looking at that 3-point percentage. Not bad. Could be a little bit better. Shannon Dow, who leads in assists, is at 15.9 points a game, 6.5 rebounds. Hey, this team does do rebounds with their top players. 2.4 assists, 1.2 steals a game, zero point 0.4 blocks, 3.7 turnovers, which is silly high. She's a guard. She shouldn't be turning it over that much. 46.2 field goal percentage, 80.2 free throw percentage, and 33.3 3-point percentage. Um, Jayla Smith, who leads in steals and blocks, is only doing like 8.2 points a game, but she's getting 2.7 rebounds a game. She's a guard, 1.2 assists, 1.3 steals. I guess that's the latest 1.2, 1.3 a game. That's a little low for some players. Zero point 0.5 blocks. Oh, wait a minute here. Sorry, I was looked up one. 0.9 blocks. And that's your high player right there. Zero point 0.9 blocks. This is not good. 1.1 turnovers, which is good. 50% from field goal range. She's paying attention where she's putting her shots up. 93.5% from free throw percentage and 41.7 3-point percentage. So you've got someone that is being a little bit more careful on their shot selection, but not getting a chance to shoot as often. Now, Grace Slaughter, this team is really unbalanced with how much they're playing certain people. Grace Slaughter's sitting at 752 minutes for the season. Uh, Jordana Reisma is sitting at 616 minutes. She's a forward. 614 for Chloe Sodal. 564 for Abby Shriek. I mean, they're playing everybody. I mean, the lowest person on this team is at 105. They're balancing everybody out a little bit, but not enough. I mean, you're going to wear down Grace Slaughter. She's averaging 35.8 minutes a game. 19 points, though. Hey, she's putting up the numbers, but I have a feeling that's kind of hurting her percentages a little bit. And being a little tired, you're going to turn it over a little bit more. But they don't have a defense. They really don't have a defense. They're better in Arkansas, but that ain't saying a whole lot. They're having to rely a little too much on three players to do everything. And I mean, Grace Slaughter has been at Mizzou. This is her junior year, and she's a good player. And I'm sure that Kellie Harper was glad to get her. But you're relying way too much on one player. So I'm looking at all this. Mizzou's got a good team. They just don't have a defense this year. I'm sure that Kellie Harper, knowing, she learned basketball under Pat Head Summit, she's going to figure out that on defense. I'm looking at these two teams. Yolett McPhee-McCuin has got Ole Miss where she wants it. I'm not seeing them making a Sweet 16 run this year. I can see them making it to the 30 to the top 32, but you know, both teams are good teams, just not good enough. Ole Miss deserves to be ranked. I have no problems with Ole Miss being ranked, and they really will make it to the NCAA's unless they decide at random to accept and bid to the WNIT. But you know, Cody McMahon, Christine Iwula, both really good players. Mizzou, Grace Slaughter is an amazing player, backed up by Jayla Smith and Shannon Dow, but I don't think that she's balancing this team out right. I don't think Kellie Harper's been able to balance this team out right. Shannon Dow came from Illinois State, and she was a good get. I don't have a problem with her play. They just need to work on their defense. And Jayla Smith's in her last year. Jayla Smith was another good get, but she was at Purdue for 4 years, so this is her last year being able to play. But I don't see where Mizzou has got the defense to be able to do much of anything this year. I like Kellie Harper, I really do. But Ole Miss Rebels are going to win this one. Hotty toddy and all that. But man, I'm looking at this, and Grace Slaughter by the end of this season is going to be glad when it's done. She has got to be worn out by this point. For that matter, so does Jordana Reisma, who, by the way, third leading scorer, 10.2 points a game, 6.2 rebounds, but no defense. I mean, seriously, 3.5 blocks a game. How are you only getting 3.5 blocks a game? Mizzou they've got to get, and it's too late to work on your defense. By this point, it's too late to work on your defense. Ole Miss's defense is holding up a little bit better, but only having 5 blocks a game. 9 steals, though, at least is balancing it out some, but their turnover rate is really high. But I don't see that Mizzou can do much of anything when it comes to Ole Miss. I think this is too talented of a team when they get on the court. Yes, they've got players. I mean, they got 5 players that are playing most of the minutes, but still only 30 minutes a game for them. I think this is just going to come down to these better rested, better balanced. Ole Miss has got this one. I see Ole Miss having far better than 20 wins this season. I can see them upsetting somebody because they're at that point they could do it later on in the season. But that's just my thoughts on it. This has been Paul with Redneck Sports. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. Hey, that's my video. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And comment. Don't forget that either. Hey, this has been Paul with
Artlist.io.
Redneck Thinker Media. I do sports, I do politics. Hit like, subscribe. And y'all, this has been Paul. Y'all have a good day now. Bye.